Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and I'm team building here for my last game in IBL D-League Season number 2, up against Dr. Slacking and his Bowland Bovines. Definitely a very solid player. He was actually the other team that secured the bye week, so we are the first seed, and going into playoffs he was the second seed, and we're here in finals now, so should be a good time. We battled back in week number 6, and that was definitely a very fun game. I was able to go ahead and sweep with my agility and Polion at the end, so ideally we can go ahead and have some more fun right here, and yeah, let's go ahead and get right into his roster. There are, I believe, one change from the last time we played. He has the Scissor over the Conkeldurr. I'm pretty sure everything else is the same, but this roster is definitely very tough to deal with just because of its first 4 Pokemon alone right here. He has Tapu Koko, which definitely does very good against my team. Struggles against Pokemon like Goodra, Shaman, and I guess Landorus T, but against all those Pokemon, he literally just U-turns out into Kyurem Black, and Kyurem Black basically throws off an attack and does a ton of work right here, so that's definitely a combination of Pokemon I do have to prep for very well right here. I guess we'll talk about Kyurem Black right now too. Absolutely good wall breaker against my team. Super scary. In fact, I'm pretty sure my only Dragon Resist is Empoleon and Deontay. Empoleon gets blown away by a Fusion Bolt, Deontay gets blown away by an Iron Head, so you can see just how big of a problem this Kyurem Black is, and that's why I'm bringing a lot more offensive of a team this time, as opposed to last time where I brought some pivots, because I definitely just want to be able to check the Kyurem Black under any circumstance, so whether he's Sub, Scarf, no matter what he is, I definitely just want to be able to knock it out. I don't really care about switching into Mons this game. That's basically the entire idea. So yeah, those first 2 Pokemon, Tapu Koko and Kyurem Black, they're going to really help each other out right here. Tapu Koko providing that U-turn momentum into Kyurem Black. He has a Greninja right here, which can kind of do the same thing, except it also gets access to Spikes and whatnot. Spikes, T-Spikes, all those hazards could be annoying, but its combination of attacks right here could just be frustrating too. If he runs like Water Stab, Ice Beam, and then I think he would run like a U-turn and then be a Spike, that could definitely be a very good strategy against my team. Alternatively, he could run like Low Kick for my Empoleon, but he definitely needs either Water Stab or the Ice Beam right here just to help out. So Greninja, just something I have to watch out for right here. Doesn't outspeed a lot of my team, at least a lot of my offensive threats like Mega Lopunny and Weavile, so that should definitely be a good sign for me right here. He has the Mega Pinsir, which SD Mega Pinsir is definitely a threat. Thankfully, I do have one of the best counters to it in the entire draft pool. I was about to say tier, and Thunderous Eye right here, but I can't actually switch in safely just due to the possibility of Stone Edge, and I really don't want to run a Charty Berry just for that, so definitely something I do have to watch out for right here. Thankfully, a lot of my Pokemon can naturally take 1 hit, being Landorus T, Thunderous Eye. Reuniclus does take 1, and Empoleon does take 1, as does Goodra right here, so it definitely needs chip damage across my team to be able to sweep, but as long as I can keep my Thunderous Eye healthy, out of range of Quick Attack, all that goodness, I should be able to check Mega Pinsir without an issue. Landorus T can do the same thing, and any Scarfer that I bring will definitely help out right here, so I'm definitely worried about Mega Pinsir, but I think my team can naturally check it if I just bring the correct combination of offense. He has the Nihilego right here, which Nihilego I think has a terrible matchup. I have an Empoleon, which I guess it can run the Thunder or Thunderbolt, but it's not Z, so even that is not going to 2-hit KO Spit F Empoleon. I have a Goodra too. I really just think Nihilego would be a very poor bring on his part right here, but he could do it for all I know. Maybe I'm going to play my Empoleon and Goodra that badly, and it's going to end up winning. We'll never know right here, but let's see. I just got to make sure I keep that Empoleon and Goodra healthy, and I won't lose to Nihilego. He has the Uxie right here, which Uxie is actually definitely a very good Pokemon against me. It's definitely one of his better physical walls against Mega Lopunny. He could bring like a Rocky Helmet Fizdef set with U-Turn, Rocks, Ice Beam, and Psychic. That's, I think, the most likely set right here, because Ice Beam can go ahead and catch Landorus T. And against my best bulky pivots like Empoleon and Goodra, once again, he just U-turns out into that Kyurem Black every time, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm really not relying on those Pokemon. I am bringing both those Pokemon, but you'll see why in a little bit right here. He has the Heatran, which Heatran is definitely a problem, although it's checked by a lot. It's checked by Mega Lopunny, checked by Landorus T, checked by Low-Kick Weavile. My Thunderous Eye could easily run a Z move for it, Fightinium Z Superpower, or maybe the Focus Blast I believe it gets, so he could run like Choplotran with a Fire-type attack to go ahead and lure my Thundurus. I could see him opening up Mega Pinsir that way, but I'm definitely not going to risk my Thundurus under that circumstance. I will be switching out into either Empoleon or Goodra in that scenario, so just gotta watch out for that. Other than that, he could run like the Choplberry for Mega Lopunny too. I think Choplberry is the best item, but he could also run like Firium Z. Just that coverage alone kind of gets a kill, except Goodra. It really doesn't hit Goodra at all, so just something he has to keep in mind. Rotom Mow right here is kind of a threat, but at the same time it's checked by Revival, it's checked by Goodra. Well, Goodra switches in very nicely due to Sap Sipper. The problem once again is if he goes for the Volt switch into my Goodra, Kyurem Black hits the field and there's nothing I can do, so definitely just got to keep that in mind. And yeah, just gotta watch out for Volt Switch shenanigans. I do have a ground type on my roster, but I really don't think I'm gonna be switching that in, because it's actually doing something a lot different this week than trying to switch into Rotom Mo. It is actually my Stealth Rock setter, as you guys will see. He has the Gligar right here, which Gligar gave me a lot of trouble last time. I didn't run Ice type coverage. That was mostly due to rushed prep. I really did not run the correct coverage for the combination of his bulk right here, so this time I made sure not to make that mistake. I do have coverage for both Gligar and his secondary ground type, which is the last Pokemon in his roster. He has the Scissor right here, which Scissor I actually think is very good. Honestly, I think Conkeldurr was better against me, but Scissor with Bullet Punch spam could actually be very threatening. It naturally deals with Weavile. If he's banded, he does like 60% to Mega Lopunny, so after a couple of rounds of Rocky Helmet plus Hazards from Oxy, he could easily knock out my Mega Lopunny with the banded Bullet Punch, and my only real check to that is Thundurus Eye right here, so as long as I have Thundurus Eye, I scout for an Aqua Berry, I should be able to check that with Incinerate or HP Fire from that thing, so that should be all good. And then finally he has the Gastrodon right here, which Gastrodon definitely, kind of like Gligar, I just got to run the correct coverage for it. Last time I think I had a lot of Grass type moves for that, and not a lot of Ice type moves for the Gligar right here. I have coverage for both this week, and I'm just hoping that I can go ahead and nail the coverage correctly, depending on which ones he brings. Obviously, depending on what I see at preview, I can determine which Pokemon are more important than others. If he does not have the Gligar and has the Gastrodon, I think my Pokemon with HP Ice would be a lot less important than the Pokemon with Grass type coverage, obviously. And yeah, that's going to be his roster right here. My team is super offensive, as you guys will see, and let's go ahead and hop right into that. Alright, starting off my team right here, I have Mike Landorus T coming for the last time in the season, obviously. We have an Adamant Focus Sash set right here, which I'm definitely planning on leading off with. I actually slapped this on the team right away, because it's definitely my best way of getting up rocks and supporting my win condition right here, which is actually my second Pokemon. It might ring a bell, you'll definitely recognize the win condition when I show you it. We have Focus Sash Landorus T right here with rocks, Earthquake, Explosion, and Knockoff. Explosion is great against something like Mega Pinsir, it always OHKOs that with the Adamant nature. Depending on whether he's Intimidate or Hypercutter, I can take 2 returns, which can definitely be very good right here. I am actually Adamant with enough speed for the Heatran, so despite my Adamant nature right here, I can guarantee check the Heatran. Just gotta watch out for like Air Balloon or Sugar Berry. Those are 2 items that I'm definitely expecting to see right here. I'm really expecting Chople Berry though, I think that's a lot more likely, but the key right here is good up rocks and ideally get a kill, but I can also go ahead and knock off an item. For example, if I knock off the Gligar, that'll make it a lot more easy to deal with my Goodra, for example, because Goodra doesn't actually 2-hit KO it unless I run Ice Beam right here, so just gotta watch out for that. And the idea is just get up rocks and explode. Ideally I can go ahead and do those, and I will definitely be happy right here. Yeah, so Mech should definitely be a good bring right here. Let's go ahead and get right into my second Pokemon. Okay, second Pokemon I have right here is GoFed T-Sub my Empoleon, which is earning the Wakanberry Agility 3 attack set. Very similar to last time. The one change is I actually have Ice Beam on this over Flash Cannon. Last time I bring Flash Cannon for Kyurem Black, because after rocks I could go ahead and knock it out. However, I have a specific lure for Kyurem Black on this team, as you will see in a couple Pokemon right here, and I want the Ice Beam coverage for the Rotom Mo, because that gave the set a lot of trouble last time. I was not able to actually sweep until I got that thing in range of any of my other attacks, so I really need the Ice Beam right here, and ideally that Kyurem Black lure can go ahead and work out. This thing is so good. I know I brought it last time and you might expect it, but because he dropped Conkeldurr for Scissor, it's even better right here, because I don't have to deal with Mach Punch. Surf is mainly here for the just good water step throughout his entire team. Unfortunately, I really want to earn Hydro Pump, but I really don't want to lose this game to misses. That would be very lame. So I have Surf right here, which definitely is not as strong. Hydro Pump, for example, would actually knock out Mega Pinsir after 1 round of Stealth Rocks, assuming it's not Mega Evolved. Like, Hydro Pump does 77 to 91, whereas Surf does like 65 to 77, so I gotta get like 2 Rock switch-ins on Mega Pinsir, but I really don't want to miss my attacks right here. And then Grass Knot is really there for the Gastrodon. Just gotta scout for Rindo Berry, obviously, can't keep that out of the mind. And yeah, we have Wakanberry right here just for Scarf Coco. Ideally, whatever I set up on can go ahead and keep me out of range of a Scarf Coco's Thunderbolt or Wild Charge. So that way, if he tries to go after, I got into that after I Agility up, because it does outspeed me. I can go ahead and take the attack, get the Wakanberry, and then I can go ahead and knock him out with Surf, and I should be good to go right here. So I'm really banking on this winning. Rock support from Landorus T should really help it out, and let's go ahead and move on to my third Pokemon. Alright, and rounding out the first half of my team right here, I have Dimensions my Mega Lopunny, which is running a very standard set right here. It's literally just the Smogon set with Fake Out, Ice Punch, High Jump Kick, and Return. I have enough speed for Tapu Koko no matter what, so I always outspeed that. We have Max Attack right here, and I just dump the rest into HP. Pretty much last time I actually ran Copycat over Ice Punch, because the plan was, if he goes into Uxie to get rocks up, I could go ahead and Copycat them right back to his side of the field and help out my Empoleon. That was a really dumb idea. This time I have what I believe to be the correct prep, which is Ice Punch. Last time this could not really break through Gligar, however this time I can very easily do that, so Ice Punch is going to be very useful right here. It actually OHKOs the Gligar if I can go to knock it off with my Weavile or my Landorus T right here, so that can definitely be very useful, but I definitely think this is a very good bring right here. He could bring Fizdef Uxie, I know, but I have other ways of wearing that down between Landorus T. That's probably his best response to that as well. And if I explode on that, Mega Lopunny can just go in right here. So definitely a very strong bring. It's come to every game this season, and it's definitely done something every week. So very happy about that. Ideally, we can see the same scenario right here. Mega Lopunny putting in a lot of work. And let's go ahead and move on to the second half of my team. Alright, so Kyurem Black Lure is here. The way I envision this scenario working out is I lead off with Landorus T to get my rocks up, which effectively puts Kyurem Black in range of Dragon Pulse. Now, a lot of Pokemon that Goodra likes to switch into, Tapu Koko, Greninja, and Uxie, for example, would actually get U-turned or Volt switched out into, right? And he would obviously bring out the Kyurem Black. So what I can do with my 196 investment right here is knock out the Kyurem Black because I can take the Dragon Claw with Haban Berry, and I will be good to go right here. So I really need that Kyurem Black to go down because of my Empoleon is not earning Flash Cannon this week, and this is my way of doing that right here. I'm really banking on him U-turning out or Volt switching out into Kyurem Black with either Tapu Koko, Greninja, or Uxie right here. I guess maybe Rotom could do it as well because this would be my response, and he would obviously not click a grass type attack, so that can definitely be a good scenario for me. I'm really expecting physical Kyurem Black with a Dragon Claw or Outrage. I can take both with the Haban Berry along with my HP and defense investment right here. And yeah, Dragon Pulse does a min of 80% to upset with a lot of HP investment too, so should definitely be very good. If he has Haban Berry himself, he is not Scarf, and that's going to be great for some of my other Pokemon anyway, so should be a good lure right here. And if I can get rid of that Pokemon, Go-Fed T-Sub, my Empoleon can sweep this game pretty easily right here, so ideally this can go ahead and work out. Now the problem with the strategy is, despite the fact that it lures the Kyurem Black, if my Goodra takes too much damage, I'm going to be very weak to Tapu Koko, Greninja, Rotom, Uxie, Heatran, all of them, so I have other ways of reliably checking them on this team, as you guys will see with my last two Pokemon right here, and let's go ahead and get right into those two. Okay, so I'm actually bringing Choice Scarf Weavile to my finals game as well as my semifinals game, as you guys saw last week right here. In case he ends up critting my Goodra, I do need a reliable way of checking Choice Scarf Kyurem Black, since this team's only Dragon Resist is Empoleon, and that's an offensive set, so it's really not taking those hits. I have Choice Scarf Weavile right here with Low Kick as a Kyurem Black speed control mon right here, but other than that, it also does well against Nihilego. Nihilego should not come, but if it does come and I end up playing really terribly with my Goodra and my Empoleon, I can always check it with Scarf Icicle Crash right here, which could be very good. My speed investment is for, I believe, the Greninja. I can go down and outspeed that, and after 2 rounds of rocks, Greninja does die to Low Kick, because it is obviously super effective right here, so that could be very good. Despite my Choice Scarf, I do have Ice Shard right here, because it could out-prioritize the Mega Pinsir's Quick Attack, and if he is in range, I could go ahead and knock that out, which could be very good right here. It's also another Pokemon that can go to knock off the Gligar, knock off the Uxie right here, which is going to be great for my Empoleon. Empoleon does need Uxie in range, so I don't take like a Thunder Wave or anything. That would be very bad, but the main idea right here is just speed control throughout his entire team. Now, as you can see up to this point, I really do not have a check to the Scissor at all, because my entire team is weak to Steel, and he can just earn Superpower for Empoleon, so my last Pokemon right here is there to help out against the Scissor. And let's go ahead and move on to that. And wrapping up this team right here, I have Mancini, my Thunderous-Eye, which is running an Assault Vest set right here with obviously 4 attacks. This is my primary way of dealing with the Scissor. Now, I am running U-Turn instead of Grass Knot because of the Gastrodon. Now, because I'm really expecting Rindo Gastrodon, right? And instead of taking that hit with the Gastrodon and then taking like a Rock Tomb or maybe like a Scald or Waterfall in the process, I can just U-Turn out into something that actually threatens it, like Megalopony or Weavile. Both of those Pokemon do 2-hit KO it right here, so that could definitely be very good. I really hope I don't regret not running Grass Knot, because I'm really expecting Rindo Berry right here. We'll see though. If I do lose the game because I can't touch Gastrodon, that would suck, but we have Incinerate right here obviously for the Scissor. This is one of my better Rotom responses because, for example, if I do get that scenario right with the Goodra, he does Volt Switch out into Kyurem Black. My Goodra will take a ton of damage from Dragon Claw, and therefore I will not have a response to Rotom, so I can go ahead and take it on with this Assault Vest Thunderous right here. This is also a lure for Tapu Koko. If he does bring Tapu Koko out, I can take a Specs Thunderbolt from full, and I can go ahead and Oko that back with Sludge Wave, so that could be very good for me, because Tapu Koko is a giant threat against me too, especially if it's Choice Scarf. I really want to eliminate a Choice Scarf Koko if at all possible, because that is one of his better checks to my what is it called, Empoleon right here. Now, this is also a lure for the Greninja. If he brings it out and tries to check me with the Ice Beam, maybe because I can't Prankster T-Wave him, obviously, I could go ahead and take the Ice Beam due to my Assault Vest and knock that out with Thunderbolt. So it's mainly a Luremon right here. I'm trying to keep it as healthy as possible throughout the course of the game. As it is a Luremon, it is also my check to both the Mega Pinsir and the Scissors. So just got to keep that all in mind. U-turn momentum is great right here because it provides me Pokemon switch into my other Pokemon on both the ground types, being Gligar and Gastrodon. As you can see, I don't have HP ice or grass knot right here, so really needed U-turn to cover both those options, and yeah, that's going to be the team right here. The match will be going live in 22 hours. Should be a very fun one. I know Dr. Slacking is definitely a good battler as he is playing in the NPL minors, so should be a good time, and I'll see you all then.